Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and welcome back to another one of my reaction videos. So, today I'm going to be reacting to the new episode of Death Battle, which just came out, which is Sanji versus Rock Lee. Sanji from One Piece versus Rock Lee from Naruto. Now, I don't have too much to say about this episode before we get into it. I will say a couple things, but I don't have too much to say about it. If you guys missed my prediction for this fight, which came out like a couple weeks ago, I'm personally rooting for Rock Lee to win this fight. This is the character that I would prefer to see win. In general, I just like Lee more than Sanji, and as a general rule, I like Naruto more than One Piece. I just didn't get into One Piece in the same way I got into Naruto. That's just my personal opinion, though. If you're rooting for Sanji, I totally get it. I'm personally just rooting for Rock Lee. However, in my prediction, I said that I thought that I was leaning more towards Sanji for actually winning, and I'm kind of still feeling that way. I've heard a lot of arguments go both ways. I've heard, ways that people say that Sanji could win and ways that people say that Rock Lee could win. So I expect, I don't really expect Sanji to win necessarily. I just still personally think he will win. But if Rock Lee wins, obviously I'm rooting for him. I want Rock Lee to win, and I could definitely see him winning. As of right now, though, the best way that I could see Death Battle going for Rock Lee is really just if they say, oh yeah, him in the 8th gate form is, assuming they even include the 8th gate. I'm still not 100% sure whether or not they will, but, just the 8th gate form puts him on a level higher than Sanji, even at Sanji's maximum potential, which I think is definitely possible. I'm not saying that that's unlikely or anything like that, but I think that's probably the best way that, they could make a case for Lee. But I could also see them saying, oh, Sanji just has more consistent advantages, and he has ways to avoid Lee easier and stuff like that. So, I'm still thinking probably they're going to go with Sanji, but I could definitely see it going either way. Either way, though, I'm really excited to see this episode. I'm excited to see the animation, the analyses. I want to learn a lot more about these characters, especially Sanji. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Give me a sec. Alright, let's do this. Even though I'm not too familiar with either of them, especially Sanji, I'm still really excited for this battle.
Everyone respects the master of the martial arts. Like Sanji, the sous chef.
They also just both kick a lot.
Searching for the One Piece. And Rock Lee, the hardworking.
You gotta love Lee, She's so cool.
He's whiz and I'm boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
I still think it's so weird when they do that, but whatever.
Somewhere in the vast ocean is a seafaring land of science. The Kingdom of Germa. When the King of Germs decided to turn
I was about to say interesting name.
Awesome idea. How about he make his kids into killer emotionless super soldiers? What could go wrong?
Okay.
He forced his queen to undergo
surgery
that would enhance their children during pregnancy. Yeah, she wasn't much of
So it's one of those kinds of stories, alright.
To counteract the effects to hopefully ensure that at least one of her children was, emotionally stable. Hey, surprise.
Okay.
No bar to
So I'm
aim
assuming
for,
that's
but
Sanji.
Good for her. And she pulled it off. While most of her children were violent sociopaths,
Right.
one showed no signs of their shared superhuman genetics. This is Sanji.
Okay, good.
The poor kid didn't have a great childhood. I mean, he was.
Oh yeah, definitely, I would assume. Definitely not.
But he found peace in cooking for his mom. Well, until she died, then he was thrown in a dungeon. Look, I told you his childhood.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Sanji
That escalated fast.
Thanks to some help from his sister, who I guess was slightly less of a sociopath, and made his way across the sea as a cook. Until he was shipwrecked and left marooned.
Damn.
Guy just can't catch a break.
Yeah.
But Sanji found a new daddy in the form of pirate Red Leg Zeph, who trained him in
Red
his own
Leg
martial
Zeph.
arts.
Wow, okay.
Black Leg style. Wait, shouldn't that be Red Leg style? I'm confused. It's an art that focuses exclusively on kicks.
Right.
Which worked out swimmingly.
He doesn't use his hands.
No. Puns are my job. I don't need you pirating that from me. As a
Aha.
firmly
I get
believes
it.
his hands have no place in a fight. To him, they should be kept as pristine as possible for cooking, which is frankly wonderful etiquette. Even if his own life is in serious danger, he will not break this self-imposed rule.
Right.
You gotta hand it to him. Black Leg is like
Oh god. Are they gonna keep doing this?
Every other martial art with high flying footwork and mixing them all up like a stew. And just
awesome.
like a tasty dish, he named his attacks after a bunch of French words, which I definitely cannot pronounce. Most important to recognize is Diable Jambe, also known as the Devil Leg.
So that's how you pronounce that, okay.
At incredibly high speeds, Sanji builds up friction between the air and his leg until it literally catches on fire.
Right.
To do so, he'd have to be moving his legs over 11,000 meters per second.
Yeah, that move's pretty lit. Clearly sucks.
God damn it, Boomstick.
He's quick enough to keep up with the pirate captain Luffy, who effortlessly dodged laser beams from a robot man bear guy.
Right.
It's a long story.
It's like ridiculously fast.
In a nutshell, a very, very long story.
Sanji's got plenty of other skills. He can kick your face so hard it makes you as handsome as that devil George Clooney.
What?
Oh, brother. Then he can start playing
Jeez.
Danny DeVito you back to normal with another.
Anime is so weird,
Skywalk technique,
but it's still
he
awesome.
walk on air by, listen to this, flicking his heels so quickly he creates dozens of miniature sonic booms beneath his feet.
I don't think that's how that works.
Is insane.
Note to self, never skip leg day. In fact,
Yeah, I bet he doesn't.
all days are now leg days.
Sanji eventually found a true family as a chef for the Straw Hat Pirates.
Right.
With them at his side, he began a hunt for the All Blue, a mythical location where every ocean in the world connects and all manner of sea life exists.
All right.
Perfect spot for a chef of the sea.
But just like all of us, he had to deal with his first and much crazier family at some point. And when he did,
Yeah, makes
he got
sense.
an upgrade.
This is the Raid Suit, a miraculous
Hey.
invisibility, air boosters for increased kicking power.
And a snazzy cape.
Conveniently, the suit is stored in an easy-to-carry canister that can be opened
Right.
for a magical girl transformation, like so. Oh, is this beer?
Wait a minute. If that's my
Oh
beer,
no.
what am I drinking?
Oh my
Gonna need to
god.
Go to the bathroom or the hospital.
While
Yeah,
Sanji
probably the
may have
hospital.
possessed
I would say the
ability of his
hospital.
Siblings, he has learned something similar yet entirely different. Hockey.
Right.
This power lets
Not the
people
sport.
push their body to new limits in a bunch of different ways. Like with armament hockey, he can make himself hard.
Specifically to strengthen his limbs for ironclad defense
Yeah.
and stronger attacks. However, Sanji's own specialty is Kenbunshoku, or observation hockey.
Yeah, there you go.
Sanji can detect the presence of others, including through walls. He can even predict future events, at least to some extent.
Yeah, not to a huge
That's
extent,
letting
but
him
yeah.
push his abilities to the limit. He's strong enough to keep up with the likes of Zoro, one of the deadliest swordsmen in the friggin' world.
Yeah.
And he could battle the marine Fujitora, who could summon meteors from the sky, the largest of which, when compared to the island of Dressrosa, appears to have a diameter of over 780 meters.
But Sanji can't do that
Plus a
himself,
kinetic
right?
energy of over 12 gigatons of TNT.
So, like, he fought a guy who could basically blow up a whole island in a
But like,
snap.
did Sanji get
And
hit
then
by one of those
Let
attacks?
me know the next time you find a cook who can pull that off.
I'm gonna assume he did, because it seems like that's what they're talking about.
Sanji sees himself as a gentleman, and thus refuses to fight a lady at any cost, even his own life.
And,
Come on, don't
he's
discriminate.
absolutely terrified of drag queens. That didn't age well.
But even with the setbacks and a horrifying childhood,
Right.
Sanji is a man of the moment, an adventurer with a goal.
I am glad they're
One
using the
day
raid
he will
suit, because I
surely
still wasn't
discover
sure if they were
the
gonna do
goal,
that.
Whatever else comes after that.
But I think it makes sense for them to use
I
it.
was looking for a light.
He seems really cool. But now let's talk about Rock Lee.
The village hidden in the leaves is a land of phenomenal ninja.
From Naruto to Sasuke to Kakashi, we've seen them show off their awesome talent on Death Battle before.
Yep.
But one ninja student
Most of them have
that
lost.
talent wasn't naturally born. That talent could be achieved through nothing but
I don't hold a grudge
This
for that, by the
is
way.
Rock Lee.
It's just something we all know.
At first, Bullcut's path to being a ninja was anything but promising. See, the best ninja can use all sorts of ninja magic.
Yeah, he's not about
ninjutsu
ninjutsu
but
or
not
genjutsu.
Rocky over here.
Essentially, Lee was born with a disability, unable to access the living chakra energies within his body the same way his peers
Yeah,
could.
poor Lee, but he got so good at Strong Fist.
He continued to train, pushing himself to become a splendid ninja.
Hell yeah.
Bad he got paired up with Neji, who might as well have the word prodigy stamped on his forehead.
Right.
Hello, irony.
With no real family to speak of, Lee had no one to guide him on his difficult path. Fortunately, he found inspiration in the form of a fellow
Might guy.
individual.
Might Guy, a man who is simultaneously incredibly cool and incredibly weird.
Guy
Well, yeah, but
Zoro
that's the best kind of cool.
trained him to master the art of taijutsu, a ninja's physical prowess using chakra, body, and mind.
Yep.
So he's not going to be shooting fireballs or popping up clones of himself like the other guys, but he's going to learn how to punch harder than anyone. Actually, that's exactly the point of his martial art.
Yeah.
Strong fist.
Yep,
A style
told ya.
that's all about earth-shattering
Oh, I'm sure you already knew
Not
that.
just any ninja can master the form of strong fist. In the hands of a novice, it's a dangerous technique. One wrong move.
Well, you don't want to
could
break your bones or
accidentally break
anything,
your
yeah.
limbs.
But Lee
Mhm.
quickly got the hang of it and even learned some awesome moves, like this Killer Azuna drop on steroids, the
Yeah.
primary Lotus.
A technique so useful that many other ninja tried to copy it for themselves.
What a bunch of cheaters. He's also got this potion, and if he
Hey,
drinks
imitation's
it,
the
he
highest
goes
form of
into a
flattery.
super zen state that makes him basically invincible.
Incorrect as usual, Boomstick. That was due to American censorship.
Right, it wasn't a potion, it was sake. Somehow, Lee's susceptibility to alcohol turns him into an instant expert in the drunken fist.
Hell yeah.
An actual martial art.
You know, Wiz, I've
That's just awesome. Oh, hang on, give me a second.
Drunken fist. based
All
on
right, sorry about that. We're gonna go from here.
You know, Wiz, I've always wanted to try that style myself, and I'm not gonna lie.
You'd be
I've
great
been
at that, Boomstick, I'm
watching
sure.
these.
Correction. Real drunken boxers only emulate the movements of the inebriated. They're not actually. Ow!
Right, yeah.
Ow!
Wow. I'm impressed.
Piece of cake. Anyway, when Rocky Road isn't totally sloshed, he's got one more ace up his sleeve. The 8 gates.
In the
Yeah.
world of Naruto, 8 metaphorical gates exist within the human body, inspired by real-world Buddhist teachings of opening oneself to achieve enlightenment.
Yep.
In Lee's case, it's opening a can of whoop-ass.
Even like that horrible myth about humans using only one small part of their brain. Each open gate increases Lee's abilities in some way. For example, the first gate allows Lee to utilize 100% of his body's potential by removing inherent mental and physical inhibitions.
Yeah.
The third gate lets him expend enough chakra all at once to perform his signature technique, the Hidden Lotus.
And the first few gates are pretty chill, even if they do wear him out. Thing is, the more gates you open, the more dangerous it gets. But Lee wasn't afraid.
By the age of 13, he could unlock 5 of the 8 gates.
Yep.
More than enough to keep up with the likes of Neji and honorary Green Day member Gaara. He's almost as quick as Naruto, who's dodged light speed attacks. And when he opened the 6th gate, he used it to slice up a giant meteor.
Comparing the scale of the meteor to Konoha's mountainside.
Yeah, let's see.
Assuming Lee
How much force is
contributed
this?
his fair share to this group task, he must have produced a force equal to about 230 megatons of TNT.
The
I
average
see.
nuclear bomb has a yield of about 5 megatons. So getting hit by 6th Gate Lee is like having 50 nukes explode
Yeah,
in your
that's pretty
face.
crazy.
Now, Lee has admittedly never used the last 2 gates. However, there are multiple claims that he's mastered them by adulthood. And frankly,
Right.
as the successor to Might Guy, who did unlock all 8 gates, Lee should be comparable.
Guy could make a blast the size of an island with the 7th gate. With the 8th, he could go head-to-head with the ultimate big bad.
I'm not sure if I would scale
This freak was
Lee
packing
all the
more
way up to
power
that,
than when
though.
Naruto's chakra blew a hole through the moon. A 400 petaton explosion. That's way bigger than 50 nukes. Hell, the 8th gate can bend the fabric of space.
Just one small problem. Opening the 8th gate puts an immense toll on the body. The moment you open it, you've essentially guaranteed your own death.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who cares as long as you take your foe with you.
Under Guy's training and with the help of his friends.
But that's the thing, are they gonna say that he wouldn't be able to do that for some reason?
Though he never
I'm
quite
wondering.
got the chance to prove himself against Neji.
Well, according to the wisdom of Gammy Boomstick, one's dead and the other isn't, so I think I know who won.
Tact, Boomstick. Now the villager's expert instructor in taijutsu, and with a kid of his very own, it seems Rock Lee's hard work truly did pay off. in
Of
the
course. So they are including all 8 gates. I think that makes sense. But I don't know if it makes too much sense. You could disagree. I'm not sure if it makes so much sense to automatically scale him to Guy.
It's time for a
But hang on, let's talk about it. It's time for a death battle, and pause the video. Okay, so, yeah, there are some things I'm thinking about. If they had just stopped at the whole, like, 6th gate calculation, you know, with the 234 megaton hit or whatever, then, you know, assuming that we know that Sanji can take, you know, like, what was it, 12 gigatons of TNT, because I don't think they actually said that, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they actually said that Sanji got hit by the meteor. They just said that he has fought, you know, a character that can summon meteors. So, you know, they might be trying to pull something. I don't know if they really are, but assuming that he did actually get hit, by the meteor, or we know that he can survive that much, then if they just stopped at that whole 234 megaton calculation for Lee, then I would want to say that Sanji would most likely win. It looks like that it looks like he can scale to lightspeed characters more reliably, so he's probably quicker, just in general. And yeah, like in terms of versatility, you know, they both have a lot of interesting techniques. I feel like a lot of Lee's abilities, though, again, is mostly just has to do with fighting, and, you know, nothing like too crazy or anything like that, whereas Sanji has the raid suit, which is invisibility, and he's got like his, you know, how do they pronounce it? Diablo Jambe? I pronounced it Diablo Jambe in my prediction video. I don't think that's how they pronounced it, though. Regardless, you know, I feel like Sanji overall just has more, you know, just a broader arsenal in general. But, you know, in terms of strength and durability, you know, I don't know. I have a feeling that they might, you know, say that Lee could, you know, 100% exert, you know, 400 petatons of TNT, which again, I'm not sure if I would fully agree with. I can understand where they're going for it, and if you feel that that's how they should scale them, then I totally understand. I'm not sure personally if I would just automatically assume that that's, you know, what Lee would be capable of, especially since we haven't seen him use it. But if they do that, then, you know, he definitely has the potential to put Sanji down, and Sanji would have a hard time doing damage to him. But there was that whole point where, you know, as long as you take your opponent down with you, you know, they could use, you know, a combination of, you know, his observation hockey and invisibility and speed to say that Sanji could just outlast Lee no matter what. He could outlast the 8th gate and then, you know, not die along with Lee. Maybe they're holding back a durability feat that Sanji has that, you know, actually means that he could survive, you know, something as powerful as 8th gate Guy or 8th gate Lee. So there's that. You know, again, I know it's... Again, if they go with Lee, I know the reasoning they're going to use. And if they go with Sanji, I more or less know the reasoning they're going to use. It's just kind of hard to predict what they're going to say in terms of how the 8th gate would work against someone like Sanji. My gut is still telling me that they're going to go with Sanji, but that might just be me trying to stick to my prediction. I would like to see Lee win. I'm going to be rooting for Lee throughout the fight. You know, again, I'm not sure if I would do that scaling that they use, but I would like to see Lee win. So if Lee does win, I'm not going to be that upset. But yeah, I guess if I really had to predict going into this right now, I would still go with Sanji, but, you know, I could 100% see Lee winning, definitely. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the fight. I'm really excited. This is a pretty cool dynamic.
I refuse to eat this. It's far too mild, lacking in the fiery use of true spicy curry.
So is this why they fight? Probably.
This is the most perfectly balanced curry around.
Yeah, okay, I figured.
I see you're fighting.
I actually really like that. Okay, animation doesn't look too bad. Ooh! Ow!
Chef some respect.
Of course, we have to incorporate the drunken fist.
I'm a paying customer, and that curry was awful.
Oh no!
Don't you like that? Look at me like that.
His arms are flailing behind him. Oh my god. That's great. Moving it outside. Yeah, he can keep up. If he's not already faster, which I think he would be by at least a bit. But come on, Lee. You can win this. I want you to win. That was pretty cool. There's some really cool movement in this one, which you really gotta nail with these characters, so I appreciate that. Alright. Wow, okay, you're going through them fast. Ooh boy, okay. You're doing really well, but I know you're not going to be doing well the whole way through the fight. And there's the raid suit. So he's got his own stuff. Ooh. I like the individual slower moments in that. Oh. Ouch. Come on.
I am the youthful beast of Konoha.
Oh, here we go.
Never give up. Eighth gate of death. Open!
So now it's just a matter of, you know, can he outlast him? Or kill him first, I guess? Oh! No, he's still... Oh, God!
Since you wouldn't finish your food,
I wasn't sure what happened.
cough up whatever you've already eaten. Antimatter!
Oh, my God!
Looks like mild suited you best. My dish was too spicy.
Oh, Jesus. The end. Okay, I had a feeling.
Well, I guess Lee can finally have that bout with Neji now.
Given Lee's years of experience
Jesus.
and the power of the Eight Gates, he definitely kept Sanji on his toes.
Yeah?
Sanji was no slouch himself, and like Lee, has trained all of his life.
With his speed and observation hockey, he handled even the unpredictable Drunken Fist.
And while the seventh gate meant Lee could probably blow up an island, that's not as big as the meteors the Straw Hats could handle.
Simply put, Lee had only one somewhat reliable method of a possible victory: the Eighth Gate.
That's what I was saying.
Suicide move he's never actually used before.
Even in my
Not
prediction.
really the best argument for a win on its own.
But Gate
Right.
could take on Madara. Sanji's tough, yeah, but he's definitely not on that guy's level.
No.
A couple big hits from the eighth gate, and Sanji's nothing but paste. So what gives?
Well, Lee would have to hit him first.
Right.
While Sanji's power may not compare to the Eighth Gate, his speed is far beyond. Recall when his fellow rubber rabble-rouser Luffy very patiently waited for a light speed laser to reach him before dodging it. To pull this off, Luffy would have had to move 13 times faster than light.
I see.
Sanji can regularly keep up with Luffy, and this was before he even got his super fast raid suit.
Yeah.
Don't get us wrong, the power of the Eighth Gate is incredible. If we were to run this fight 100 more rounds, Lee would surely land a winning blow with it a few times.
But more often than not, Sanji's speed is pulling this one off.
Given his
I had a
speed,
feeling this is the
raid
direction
suit,
they would take it.
observation hockey, and his fiery footwork, Sanji had everything
Because
he
Lee could
needed to
absolutely
outlast
win
Lee's
with the Eighth
youthful
Gate, but
determination for a victory.
it's just more
Guess
reliable
you could
Sanji
say
could get
he had a
around it.
leg up on Rock Lee, hand over fist. Or I guess foot over fist.
Foot over
You
fist.
get it.
The winner is Sanji.
Okay, it was really sad to see Lee die,
Thanks for
but
watching this episode of Death Battle.
I can get
Come back
behind
next
this.
week
I
for
understand
previews
this.
of our upcoming matchups. If you want to watch more stuff, you can click the boxes right around here.
And we already know what the next one
merch
is.
At store.roosterteeth.com.
Which is the season finale. If you guys don't already know, we got Hulk versus Broly. Yep. Let me just pause this here. Oh, okay, no, we got this wall of death battle now. All right, so yeah, that was Sanji versus Rock Lee. I guess just to talk about Hulk versus Broly a little bit, I'm not going to say too much because I've already talked about this in my prediction. For those of you guys that don't know, they actually revealed this on Twitter, like, it was like a week back or something like that. Maybe not quite a week, but it was a while back. So I actually figured out that it was going to be Hulk versus Broly a while ago, and I made a prediction for it, so that's already up. If you want to, look at my thoughts on that, you can check out my prediction. But yeah, no, I'm still excited for Hulk versus Broly. It looks like it's going to be a well-animated fight. And yeah, it's going to be unpredictable, I think, what they're going to do exactly with the characters, but still, I'm still excited to see Hulk back, after losing to Doomsday, and I'm excited to see what they do with Broly, so yeah, excited for that one. In terms of this episode, I thought this episode was okay. I didn't think it was amazing by any stretch or anything like that. I'm happy I learned a lot more about, Sanji's capabilities specifically. I guess with the whole meteor thing, they were just talking about how he could scale to Zoro, who could cut the meteor. Is that what they were going for, more or less? I'm not 100% sure, but they seem to say that, the meteor was important in terms of determining their abilities, which I do think they left kind of vague in in the analysis for Sanji, because they're just like, oh, he could fight a guy who could summon a meteor. But Death Battle has pulled things before where it's like, oh, but he didn't actually get hit by the meteor. You know, I was worried they were going to do something like that, because I don't think they were very clear with that. Regardless, though, you know, I can get behind what they were saying. You know, again, it was cool to learn about Sanji. Even the stuff, you know, that I didn't remember exactly from Rock Lee. It was good to be re-enlightened on that stuff. And Rock Lee is still a great character. Again, it was sad to see him die. I would have preferred to see Rock Lee win. But, you know, again, and he could have. He absolutely could have won this fight if he just landed the hit in the 8th gate. It was basically the same thing I was saying in my prediction video, that the best way, like, really, like, I'm not sure if I would go so far as to say the only way he could win, although maybe I would, I don't know. But, like, the best way that Lee could win is just, you know, them saying that the 8th gate puts him on a level higher and he could land the hit. That was really it. And yes, the 8th gate does put him at that higher level, but, you know, Sanji's just too fast, which, again, I can totally get behind. And even then, you know, that even almost implies that, you know, if Sanji really is that fast, he might just be able to kill Lee before Lee even gets up there, you know, or something like that. I still think, you know, again, like Lee in base, or at least, not Lee in base, Sanji in base, or at least Sanji with the raid suit is far above Lee in base, you know, so there you go. Regardless, though, you know, I thought the animation was alright. The 2D animation seemed a little different from what they normally did, although I didn't necessarily think that was a bad thing. I think it actually complemented the characters and their fighting styles pretty well. It just seemed a little different. I'm sure they've had this animator before, but, you know, it just looked a little different to me. Again, nothing bad. I actually think it really worked for these characters. I do think it was a bit short, though. I understand that for the episode right before the season finale, they want to kind of, not necessarily rush through it, but they want to get it done quicker so they have more time to work on the season finale. I totally get that. But regardless, you know, I still would have liked to see, you know, a longer fight. That doesn't change that. But yeah, you know, from what we saw, I think it worked pretty well. I actually really like how, you know, Lee was opening the gates one after the other. Normally I would think that I would kind of ruin the pacing, but I actually think that for the shorter fight that this was going for, the shorter fight that this was, it actually kind of worked in its favor, because it kind of like escalated things really fast, and then, you know, Sanji pulled out his thing like basically right at the end, or right before Lee went into the 8th gate. So yeah, no, I thought that was really cool, actually. And yeah, the jokes were funny, I thought. In general, I'd say this was a pretty average season 7 episode. There's nothing that I really disagreed with or anything like that, and it was still enjoyable. To me, it just didn't really have any sort of like major X factor that made it like amazing or anything like that. Really, the biggest X factor for me, or the biggest thing that really makes me like this one, is just that Lee was in it, because again, I really like Lee. Again, he did die, but, you know, that's fine. You know, you don't have to, you know, just because a character dies in a death battle doesn't mean that they're bad or anything like that. It doesn't mean they're not powerful. You know, this is just from a strictly versus debate perspective. And, you know, even from that perspective, I still really like Lee. That's how it works for me. So yeah, no, I thought this was a pretty interesting episode. Pretty much everything that I expected it to be. And yeah, I thought it was pretty good. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Who do you think should have won? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd really like to hear what you guys have to say. If you enjoyed this video, please give this video a huge like. I always appreciate the likes. There's a link in the description to the original video. Make sure you go check that out and support the official release. If you could subscribe to this channel as well, that'd be so great. That would really help my channel out. But no matter what you guys do, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'm excited for Hulk vs. Broly. And yeah, that's it for me. I will still have you guys in the next episode or the next video. Peace out.